Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Zone. Or AKA Clark. Wanted to go ahead and talk to you briefly about how this is coming together. As you can see here, this actually was attached here. When I cut this off, because of where it is on this smooth surface, I actually had to cut it once to get the piece out of the way, which is basically up like this. And I went back and I cut that again. As you can see, I preserved this angle here, but I still got to trim this again. So oftentimes with these big pieces of flash or grooves where they pour the resin in, basically the channels, you have to cut these in several places to get it down to where it actually should be. And then you have to sand it or cut with his X-acto blade nice and sharp. This is one of the missile launcher pod pieces. It's part of a smaller bag. Another problem I ran into is this right here. I'm going to move this a little closer. You can see this right here, all this flash on the outside. A lot of pieces come like that. What it comes from is the mold basically is like this, and they fill it, and then it sits there. So it doesn't make for the cleanest piece, but it's an easy way to lay stuff. You just have to sort of make it and then make an impression and then boom. But I would say in the top part of the carapace where a lot of these pieces are because of the internal panels that are put in the inside the Titan, there was probably about 10 pieces that are like this. And it's sort of annoying because you have to go literally into each one of these recesses and cut this flash out. But that's another problem that you run into with these larger models. Let me break out one of my bags here. This here is this is the melta cannon. One of the more annoying pieces in that bag is one of these two pieces right here. There's two of these. Each one of these grooves through here had flash, so these were not perfectly symmetrical like you see they are now. And this side here was completely covered with a layer of flash back there. So it basically sat like that. And I didn't want that look. I wanted to be able to see the object behind it. And since I'm going to be painting these out, layered out, so the object behind it will be painted fully, sealed, everything like that. Then these will be primed and painted and then put on. And then I will do the highlights once this is on, and this will be a fixed piece. But the object behind it will be perfectly painted too. I wanted to be able to see that. Other than that, few discrepancies. This literally was not my fault. There's a slight angle here. I don't know how that's going to look when I get this done. The channel which it was poured into was corrupted, and right here, where if you look right here, there's still a little bit more cleanup to do. This is another problem. Let's see if I can get this so, but you can see it. Okay, I'm going to use this piece to point because my finger gets in there. It wants to focus on it. Right here there's a line. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try and turn this so you can see it. Gotta go the other way. There you can see it, I think. We'll see how much this looks better. Anyways, this line right here, as you can see, goes straight up into where this was corrupted, and basically this was a growth. And when I cut that growth away, I realized that this wasn't perfectly smooth. So I have two options. I can smooth this middle part out and get rid of this internal detail, and then if I really care, I could match it on this side by smoothing that down. Or I can do a little bit of green stuff to try and level that out if it's even noticeable. And I don't even know if it will be noticeable. But you can see that channel goes all the way through here, across here. And I ran into several of these. There's a little bit more of it here. Several of the large pieces. This one here has it too. Right across here. Right across that detail. And this is stuff that if you're going for a cleaner model without rust or bowel damage, you're going to have. And the client doesn't want a tremendous amount of bow damage. He wants it to be somewhat damaged, but not hugely. This right here is a minor default of what happened on the cockpit. The cockpit itself had a very large lip where basically two pieces were like this. They're like this basically. They didn't join up properly where the mold line is. And that's what this is here. This isn't flash, this is a mold line. And that will just require a little bit of sanding. But I bet you the one on the cockpit in one area was almost a 1/16 of an inch in difference. So I had to sand everything down in proportion around it. And it made for a very difficult thing. Other than that, this thing is good to go. It looks good. This was clean. There was flash in between these, which was super annoying because this is one of the more elegant parts of the model. And I had to go through and gently not just push it down into there, but push it down and then pull it out. So it would break apart and then pull out the little pieces. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the most elegant part of that gun being, covered in debris. It won't look like flash in the end. It'll just look like, big chunks of dust or something. I have another bag I brought over here. I didn't want to bring all the bags over here. It would take forever, first of all. Second of all, there's not enough space in this area. Excuse me. Here's another problem. I don't know how much of a problem this is going to be. As you can see here, there's these nice little smooth parts here. But when you look here, this is where the channel was for the resin. It went in here and it basically corrupted that. So we have a little bit of corruption over here. We have a little bit of corruption over here. And I don't know until I put these together, well, whether this is hidden or if this is something that will have to be redone with green stuff. Also, if you can see right here, there's another one of those corruption lines where it's basically two different levels. And there's no way to really sand that or to cut that out. So I might, again, if it's even noticeable, I'll have to go in and fill that and then recreate this little bar. But that's this miniature is just literally covered with little problems like that. Again, this is technically a piece of flash almost back here. It's so thin you can see through it right there. It's kind of luminescent. Let's see if I can get that. See. But I think it's better if you just leave it as one piece. This is going to go against the wall anyways. No one's going to be able to tell if it's a 1/32 of an inch too far out. Same thing again. Lots of little things. I want to say this is what this connects into right here. Like that. Except, that's part of the problem. And I think really as much as you really look at this, you're not going to find all the flash things until you start assembling this thing. This is not designed to slide. It's designed to hold in place. It just doesn't slide. So that's what that looks like. It's pretty nice. When people join them together, this is the object they drill into right here. As you can see, it's a sizable chunk. This is the frame. This is a sizable chunk. Solid, almost all the way through. If I were to drill through here, it wouldn't offend it a whole lot because the only thing that goes in there is that, and that will be locked in place. If I were to do that and put a rod here that had thread, then you can take and spin that on to a bolt. And that's basically how these things connect. Now you don't want it to be like 20 times around until you get to the bottom. You want it to be like a quarter of a turn. Maybe a full 1 1/4 turns. You don't want it to be a big project to put this on and off, but you don't want someone to grab the top to move it and then have it fall apart in 2 pieces. That's also something you don't want. If you remember, here's the cockpit part, that the part that attaches to the cockpit. Same type of thing. This little bulb here is very thick. I don't know if you can see that between my fingers. Great place for a piece of dowel to go into. And that one there, you don't want to use a screw because the cockpit can't turn because of the top carapace, which is not in this bag. This is the bottom part of the carapace right here, or the hole basically, where the crew technically are stationed. But yep, so this is what I've got so far. I'm going to put up another video tomorrow. I believe it's the 14th. I don't know. I have a look. Let me take a look real quick here. Yep, it's going to be the 14th. I'll put the other video up. Hopefully I won't be running behind in the videos if the video days don't match up. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get everything done that I can do while running life and my business and getting this whole thing put together in a week. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you want to see more like this, please let me know. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.